Hey guys, welcome to my gaming channel, Rina the Wolf here, and today let's talk about... Okay, not gonna lie, Resident Evil 0 is still in my bottom 3 of Resi games, but it's not my most hated game anymore. So, since this is my very first game review, let's get through the points I want to talk about. I'm gonna talk about the plot, the main characters and the bosses, and I will talk about my own experience with the game, and I will try to keep it short. At the end of the video, I'm gonna rate the following: plot, graphics, music, characters, and replay value. Please note that this is solely my opinion and impression of the game, and we can agree to disagree. Okay, that was a longer intro than I wanted, so let's jump right in. Just one day before the events of the first Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 0 is a prequel that delves into the dark origins of the Umbrella Corporation's bioweapon experiments and the T-virus outbreak near Raccoon City. On the 23rd of July 1998, STAR's Bravo team is deployed to investigate a series of bizarre murders in the Arklay Mountains on the outskirts of Raccoon City. Shortly after takeoff, their helicopter suffers engine failure and crash lands in the forest. Rebecca Chambers, an 18-year-old field medic who happens to be the youngest member of the team, gets separated from the others. While searching for answers, she finds the derailed Ecliptic Express, a luxurious train, actually owned by Umbrella, that's been overrun by zombies. On board, Rebecca encounters Billy Cohen, a former Marine lieutenant en route to execution for the murder of 23 people. Initially wary of him, she is forced into a reluctant partnership as they face hordes of mutated creatures and bioorganic weapons. Their investigation reveals the train was being used to transport Umbrella employees and biological samples from a nearby training facility, a place that once served as the breeding ground for Umbrella's top researchers and operatives. The outbreak aboard the train was caused by a swarm of strange parasitic leeches controlled by a mysterious man by singing. As the duo travels from the train to the Umbrella training facility, they begin to unravel the company's deadly secrets. Dr. James Marcus, one of the founders of Umbrella, was betrayed and assassinated by his colleagues Albert Wesker and William Birkin a decade ago after discovering the progenitor virus and using it to create the T-virus. However, Marcus's death did not mark the end. His body was revived by his own mutated leech experiments, fusing his consciousness with a queen leech creature. Now, as the Leech Queen, Marcus seeks revenge on Umbrella, unleashing his virus on the forests and laboratories. Rebecca and Billy navigate multiple Umbrella facilities, solving puzzles and fighting increasingly grotesque enemies until they face the Queen Leech and learn the truth about Umbrella's inhumane experiments and Marcus's twisted legacy. In the ruins of the training facility, Rebecca and Billy face Marcus in his monstrous final form. After a brutal battle, they manage to destroy the creature just as the facility begins to self-destruct. In the end, Rebecca decides to let Billy go after learning he was a scapegoat for crimes he didn't commit. She reports him as deceased, allowing him to escape a death sentence. Billy walks off into the wilderness and Rebecca heads toward the Spencer Mansion, unknowingly stepping into the horror of the first Resident Evil game. If you're interested in more, go and check out the gameplay playlist. Okay, so this game has a lot of minor characters as well, so let's focus on the main ones. She is the most recent member of STAR's Bravo team. She is extremely intelligent and graduated from university at the age of 18. She's highly organized and knows how to take control of any situation. Rebecca is one of the main playable characters and she proves her use for handling medical equipment. As she's the medic of the team, she has a mixing toolkit which allows her to mix chemicals and herbs. Too bad she got degraded in the first game. This ex-Marine was sentenced to death for the murder of 23 people. En route to his execution, the transport vehicle crashed and he escaped and met Rebecca on the Ecliptic Express. Billy is the other playable character and proves way more than useful. He's big and strong and can handle his weapons for sure. Plus, how could we forget about his secret talent? James Marcus was not only one of the founders of Umbrella, but also one of its head researchers. He created the T-virus by combining the newly discovered progenitor virus with leech DNA. Even though his breakthroughs in virus research were beneficiary for Umbrella, he was assassinated and his research was taken over by William Birkin and Albert Wesker. Even though he doesn't get a lot of screen time in this prequel, I think his role in this game is still significant for the plot and for some Resident Evil lore. He started his career with Umbrella as the youngest ever researcher. He loves his work so much he neglects his family as well. After James Marcus's assassination, he took over the research with Albert Wesker and moved to the Spencer Mansion laboratory to perfect the T-virus. He discovered the G-virus during his research at the Arclay facility and requested plans for a laboratory underneath Raccoon City to continue his research on the new mutagen. Okay, we definitely can't leave out Albert Wesker. I'm not biased, but he's my favorite Resident Evil villain. He's the leader of the STAR's Alpha team. He has this image of a cool brooding leader with his signature sunglasses, which makes him unapproachable. He has a degree in bioengineering and he worked at the Arclay lab with William Birkin. Wesker's purpose was the study of the T-virus, but both researchers' plans changed after Marcus's assassination. So while William started working on the G-virus, Wesker resigned and started working as an information officer, so when STARS was established, he was made team leader and began counterintelligence work to prevent STARS from discovering the truth. There are other monsters in this game besides the zombies, but let's just stick to the bosses, which, well, I liked most of them, and there was one I absolutely hated. The very first boss we run into on Ecliptic Express is a giant scorpion. Including its pincers, it reaches up to 3 meters. The virus has caused the scorpion's exoskeleton to harden. Its pincers are tough enough to cut through steel. Despite his tough armored body, its head is surprisingly vulnerable, making it its primary weakness. Keeping distance and using the hunting gun or handgun does the trick, or if you're brave enough, you can actually defeat this boss with a knife as well. The Centurion is the huge centipede Billy and Rebecca encounter in the training facility. This BOW was not a result of an experiment, it was accidentally exposed to the T-virus. How did this carnivorous monster survive this long? By preying on humans. This boss fight can still be considered easy as it has a predefined route, so it's easy to stay out of its way, but it's the best to make it quick because even though it doesn't do real damage to Rebecca, if the fight takes long enough, it can kill her. I usually start off with a shotgun, then finish it with a handgun, if it's necessary. Okay, this is the boss I hate the most. Most mammals are incompatible with the T-virus, but not this piece of stinking Its massive size is not the only thing that makes it a tough opponent. So this creature makes annoying sounds, can knock you over, and can actually pick you up. If it's not annoying enough, smaller bats also join this boss fight to annoy you even more. Using the grenade launcher is the best shot here, and of course to pray not to miss. Even the devs hated this piece of stinking so much they didn't even give it a name. The very first tyrant that was created. However, it does have its signature claw, it's on its right arm. What made this experiment unsuccessful was its lack of intelligence and being unstable. What a shame! It was supposed to be a BOW super soldier, but in the end it did prove to be useful as the gathered data was used to create T-002, which was more successful. The proto-tyrant somehow manages to escape the cryotube and goes after Rebecca in the factory. It charges, but these attacks can be avoided by moving out of its way in the last second. But one encounter is not enough, so we need to face it in the treatment plant as well. With Rebecca, I used the handgun, and with Billy, I used the shotgun. And here it is, the Queen Leech in all its hideous glory. Up until the ending of the game, it has appeared under the guise of a young James Marcus. Now it doesn't look so good, does it? To be honest, I never really had a tactic for this fight, just to fire away and then head for the final boss battle. To be honest, this boss battle gave me a headache, so I came up with a lot of strategies. In the very end, I just kept running around and used my Magnum with Rebecca, tried to keep the duo separated, but if you're brave enough, you can also try using a handgun. Right after defeating the Queen Leech, it undergoes a rapid mutation and now it is more hideous than ever. At first glance, its size increase and resistance to firearms make this final battle lost. Until Billy and Rebecca realize that the Queen Leech is extremely sensitive to sunlight. What a satisfactory demise! Even though Resident Evil 0 is still among my bottom 3 Resident Evil games, I learned to appreciate it more. But rest assured, this game is not for beginner players. First of all, it has tank controls, and even though you can switch between the original and new controls, we can argue about which one is worse. The one thing you can use the most for is shooting. Not for aiming, shooting. But I'm gonna be honest, graphically it looks great, the plot is great, and it gives us some backstory about the T-Virus, Wesker, Birkin, a little bit of origin story of Umbrella, so it was a nice compensation for all the frustration of the controls and oh, how precise you have to be in this game to pick things up or use them. Some monsters really drove me crazy, like the giant bats or the hunters. I hate the hunters in every single Resi game. But the mimicries are actually not so bad if you can just skip them. At least Rebecca could redeem herself a bit in this game because oh, she was so degraded in Resi 1. The music is a banger and the voice acting is so much better than in the early games. Even though I strategized and practiced a lot for this gameplay, I still messed up several times. More than several times. A lot of times. Nobody can change my mind about it. This game is not for casual players, which I will always be. Okay then, let's see my scores for the game. Plot. I love the plot. As I just mentioned, it gives a nice backstory to Umbrella, Wesker and Birkin, and I love how badass Rebecca is in this game. Even though the game mechanics can drive me crazy, since I'm a sucker for good stories, the plot was a nice compensation for all the frustration. I will give it a solid 4 out of 5. Why 4? Because the game contains mimicries, hunters, and giant spiders. and since I hate all of these, I can deduct a point for these. Ugh. Graphics. Okay, since I played the 2016 version of the game, which is actually only a remaster of the 2002 version, I really can't complain about the graphics. Because, trust me, there is one thing regarding the graphics that pisses me off in the new Resident Evil games. But patience, with time we're gonna get to the new games. But getting back to Zero, the characters are beautifully detailed as well as the environment and the monsters, and keeping in mind this is only a remaster, I think the game looks brilliant. Even though I can't help but hope for a remake because I would love to see this game in the RE engine. Oh, the score? 5 out of 5. Music. Well, I'm a music nerd, and to be completely honest, even if a Resi game is bad, the music is an absolute banger. This one has an amazing score, including the safe room music, the encounter with a mimicry, or the training facility main theme. And I think it's way more than enough before I might get a copyright strike. Please don't give me a copyright strike. I just love the safe room music. So the music helped me a lot not to hate the game that much, so I'm gonna give it a solid 5 out of 5. Characters. I can't emphasize enough how much I love the characters in this game. Rebecca could redeem herself a bit in the prequel. Billy is a must-have with his 90s bad guy vibe, big muscles and secretly big heart. Okay, he might be a bit of a cliche of a 90s dream guy. And of course, we have the mysterious Wesker with his untouchable aura, and we can finally learn a little bit more of the workaholic and greedy William Birkin. Even though I didn't talk about the Bravo team since it would take a lot of time, I loved how they were all included in the game and we can find out what happened to them. The score of the characters? A 4 out of 5, but only because Marcus's arrogance pissed me off. Replay value. I'm going to be honest. At the time when I'm recording this review, the hours I put into this game is 66. I'm not kidding, even though I love whining about it, and trust me, I whine about all the early Resi games, mostly because of the tank controls and difficulty, I kept playing this one. Why? Because streams, mostly. And I practiced a lot for the gameplay, and I still failed. A lot. So no, this will never be my favorite Resident Evil game, and I hope the game will redeem itself with a remake. So, thanks to all the frustration, but considering I don't hate it as much anymore, I'll give it a 3 out of 5 for replay value. Whoa, okay, this was a long review, but since it was my first one, I still have a lot to learn, so please share your opinion in the comments, and even though it will take a while, please let me know if you prefer short or long plot summaries, because that was one of my biggest dilemmas when I wrote the script. Also, I know, this game has extra modes, but I don't hate myself so much, so if this video gets 100 likes, I'm going to play Leech Hunter and Wesker mode. I'm gonna hate myself for this. If you're watching this video right when it comes out, please be patient. Soon enough, the gameplay is going to be available, commentary and non-commentary version. Please feel free to check out my plans. I left you a link in the description, and let me know which game you want me to play and have a review of next. Okay, I think it was way more than enough of my ramble, so if you like this video, please consider giving it a good old thumbs up and whack that subscribe button. It costs you nothing, it means a lot to me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!